Hello, hello to my change maker community. It is so wonderful to be back here this week with some more amazing interviews of people who are out here. They're not sitting around doing nothing. They're out here to make a difference in the world. And today we're so fortunate to have with us Moj Razmi. Hello, Moj. So happy to have you with us today.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So please tell people a little about you and what you do and what makes you so amazing.
I am a cool nerd. so,
Cool nerd. I like
mm,
that.
yes. I do have a technical background. I've always been in science and technology and in, taking things apart so I can put them back together better. I was always very curious about how things work. Uh, Not just things, but also how people work. Like what's going on in the mind of that person, what's going on in the heart of that other person. I was always curious about situations and environment and all of that. And so basically, what I have done in my work is I've touched upon all of those, all of those curiosities that I have had throughout my life. I've called by my clients to be a spiritual catalyst. That's what they called me. So I have that part of my title. I am into joy. I carry a joyometer with me. So if something is not joy, I am like, okay, let's revisit this. And so even though I'm all up for joy and that innate knowing, that doesn't mean that I don't get moody or angry or upset or jealous or pissed off. I get all of those things, but to me, and as you may already know, to go, to get over anything, to get through it. And so I notice it, I experience it, and I choose again.
Oh my goodness. Well, I've never heard of a joyometer. So, I mean, if you don't see a good reading, does that mean you just go somewhere else?
Well, the funny part of that is that the reading on the geometer literally has nothing to do with where you are or who you are with. It comes over time. It comes to the truth that it's whatever it's going on inside of you. So whatever is going on inside of me at the time, I could be all by myself in the car, driving, having music and no traffic, just cruising along, and I could be all pissy. I could be all like, pouting, and that's when I'm like, that geometer is way down. What's up? And then I will notice that, okay, these are the thoughts that are going on. These are the worries that are happening, and these are the concerns that are playing in the background. And that gives me the opportunity to examine things and again to choose again. And by choosing again means I choose a gain, not a loss. So by me choosing another, to give myself another chance to come to the present moment and noticing that when I am in the present moment and not in the past or future, that's how that geometry can go up.
How interesting. I love it. So it has the ability to increase your awareness of, what's going on within.
Hmm.
I
Yes.
like that. I like that. Very cool. Well, you also used a term that I'm not sure I've heard anybody else use. So exactly what do you mean by being a spiritual catalyst?
So again, I like that because when one of my clients a couple 3 years ago gave me that title, I loved it because it spoke to the nerd with me, the catalyst part. And in chemistry, catalyst basically means when you're trying to have two element interact with each other, they don't, and then you introduce this catalyst that just kind of hangs in there and then encourages the two element to come together and to do the process. But nothing of the catalyst goes inside the elements, and nothing of the elements go into the catalyst. So basically, they use that in gold plating. They use that in so many other technologies around the the technology, and So for me to be in a spiritual catalyst is like, I don't come and make you spiritual, or I don't come and, give you some of my own, exilor of this, and may you be this or may you be that. But for me is, I be the catalyst for you to know where you are, where you want to get in, and I be the catalyst to make that happen for you.
Ah, okay. That makes sense. Well, I'd love, because I get the feeling you do a lot of things under these rather broad sounding titles. I mean, do you have any story you can share about how your service has helped somebody?
Well, I can kind of start from now going back. So right now I am totally having fun, kind of, cracking that joyometer to the limit with my group, the Global She Circle. It's a
Mhm.
fabulous group of really awesome, awesome, awesome soul centered women and a few courageous men, and the group is all about support, harmony, and empowerment. So that's what the she stands for. So I get to bring people into the group and hear them speaking their truth, to
Mm,
encourage them to articulate what it is, it's their truth, not the things that they were taught, not the things that they've practiced. So, for example, I have a lot of entrepreneurs coming into the group, and they all have learned to say, I do this so that I can do that, and so that I can help these people, so that they can have that. None of that. It's basically speaking your truth. And the more I realized throughout my experiences, the more we get to speak our truth, the more we hear what it is that we want to say we are all about, like our own words, our own way of actual being. And that way we get to practice to speak our truth more and more and more. And as we have been sort of bombarded by um, sort of, we have to be this way to be accepted, and that way, either culturally or in families or in school or social media nowadays, uh, we've been taught to show up who we are not. And because we need to be accepted and we need to be this and that. But for me is, if we all get to show up from the space of who we truly are, that's when we become change makers. And that's when, like Dr. Seuss says, why be somebody else? Nobody is youer than you.
that's right.
So
Everybody else is taken.
everybody else is taken. So everybody else is taken. Why you want to be, nobody's youer than you. And for me is, why don't I want to be me, when that's the uniqueness that I'm craving for, and that's the gifts that I'm craving for, rather than me try to be, somebody else, and then I'll forget who I was really are, and I can't even do the somebody else
Hmm.
to the fairness of it and the correct aspect of it. So that's something I do with the group, and I have so many visions. I just came out right before this call. I just came out from a panelist setting. We're doing 3 Wednesdays, and the people in the group who are founding members, such as yourself, I call them the pillars of light. So they're founding members, but their actual title is pillars of light. So the pillars of light in the group get to participate in these things, so they can show up as panelists. And the title of these 3 weeks has been, um, how to decouple from negative energy of relationships.
Mm.
So not to, a lot of people came in with the idea of oh, I just don't see that person anymore. I let go of my parent, or I let go of my loved one, or I let go of my kids, and we don't talk anymore. No, it's more of, how can we decouple from the energy and
Mm.
not from the person? Because the way I see it is, even though if we decouple from the person, but it's going to come back and hunt us in a dream, in a memory, in something, and it's gonna scratch our heart. But to have that energetic freedom, is the best is to decouple from the energy of it. And notice that whenever your geometer goes down, you are getting entangled in those energetic prisons, or in those energetic entanglements that doesn't serve you. So the more we get to do that, the more we get to play in a space that we are joyous and we're living our lives to the extent that we came here to live. And we get to serve, we get to be who we are, and we get to set role, being the role model. So I may be talking about joy and all of that, but there is the background of it is a whole lot of transformation, a whole lot of coaching, a whole lot of using different modalities. Depends on who comes my way.
Mm.
And I've done work from healing a physical pain to shifting mindset to neuroplasticity of the brain to to super conscious work to connect to the higher being and have to sort of submit and hand it over, let it get solved and get it back. All of that. So it's a very in-depth work, but I love to just focus on um, when I get to play with people, we get shit done. However, it's in pure joy. We get to, like, I work really hard from outside. People tell me, "Boy, you're doing so much work," but it doesn't seem work because I'm totally in my zone of genius. I'm in total enjoying interactions such as this with you in my group now, with me in your house, and yeah.
Wow. Well, and I love that you call yourself a cool nerd. If I remember correctly, you've got an engineering background. Is that correct?
Yes, I am generation zero in US. I come originally from Iran. When I came in, it was after revolution, and when I got here, there was no money coming in. Basically, I was all by myself, spoiled brat, all by myself, and so I had to work 5 jobs. I put myself through engineering school at UC Berkeley in California. It was quite an experience, and working 5 jobs, and but the fact of it was that I still kept my head high. I still had so much fun waking up quarter to 5 in the morning, go to my first job from 5 to 9,
Ooh.
and managed breakfast. Continental Breakfast is this really awesome hotel in Berkeley. And after 2 weeks, they promoted me to the manager position for that job, which meant I had to go a little bit earlier.
Oh my gosh.
And I
Wow.
got to bus people around, which is one of my most favorite things to do in the world.
Well, I'm curious though. So, was there a specific event in your life, something that caused you to suddenly go, "Okay, enough of this engineering stuff. I'm going to go do my own thing."
Yeah. So, I loved being an engineer. And again, I love pushing, I love bossing people around. So that was like so cool. Like you have, because at home, even though I feel like in hierarchy at home because I'm the mom, I'm the one who kind of brought the family together. So I have that entitlement. Sorry, I'm sorry, but I do. But no, I'm not sorry. I do. But at work, it's way cleaner because you know who is your boss, you know who's your subordinate, you know who people are. So first of all, as a woman, I love the challenge because I was not given the respect that my position entails. So I sort of had to show who the boss is by the way I showed up, by the way I solved issues, problems, by the way I organized the process of the way work gets done. And by the one, I said, you want to be my team, you want to be part of this group, or you want to just fend for yourself? And taking care of my people and giving them the support and love, so come from a different angle than the male energy would come at work.
Mm.
So for the time that I did my technical work and for the time I did my education, even though the education was tough and hard. I don't know if you're familiar with School of Engineering at Berkeley. It's one of the toughest in the country. But for me, it was so fun. It was so great. And I would bring a different flavor to work. So I still was playful even back then. However, when I started having my kids, things shifted within me. And it took me, I recognized eventually, it took me some time. I recognized eventually that in that time frame, I wanted to be a mom. That's all I wanted. I loved my title. I loved the money. I loved that I had a say. I loved that I was in power. But not as much as being a mom. And all my life, I was sort of spiritual. I was very connected at a very young age. And I recognized that conflict within me. And it took me total of 7 years to make that shift. But toward the end of it, I took like a month off from work. All I did was meditation and yoga. And it became very clear that all I want is to be a stay-home mom. I want to play with my own kids. That's
Mm.
basically all I wanted in this time frame. And everybody in my family, including my parents, my cousins, my aunts, uncles, my husband, they were all like shocked. They were like, "But you work so hard." Even we met a group of my friends from Berkeley. We still come together once in a while, a couple months ago. And one of the gals who was a couple years younger than me, and she was in the same department, she told me that I always voted for you to be a CEO of this and CEO of that. And then now you chose to be somebody totally different. And I'm like, yeah, because that was fun back then. But then in this time frame, that's in that time frame, that's what I wanted to be. And that was part of the and after that, everything sort of, when I decided that, and when I told the family, hey guys, we have 6 months notice that I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this transition. And everybody panicked. I started getting phone calls and, everybody like, you're crazy. And my husband was like, but it was just like, you guys have, you know, adjust to this. This is happening. And that was part of my way of being in the family too, that I spoke my truth. And then I was like, this is what's going to go. This is what's going to happen. And but then after that, everything, just about everything, has been more uh, uh, organic for me. Just about everything has been more organic. The way teaching yoga fell into my lap right after I quit. Without certification, I was asked to teach yoga, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. But then I was literally, they made me teach it. And then not to be out of integrity, I started training. Back then, there weren't much training programs. I happened to find this fabulous 1 year program. I did that for once a weekend, every month, Friday, Saturday, Sundays. And then as soon as I finished, I was offered, I randomly met this woman who was in charge of the program at Stanford for employee health improvement program for whoever is affiliated with Stanford. So I got a job there. Started with one class in summer, and up to pandemic, I was teaching 10 different classes at Stanford, from yoga to Pilates to physical fitness to classes that I called butts and guts. Um,
Guts and guts.
yeah, and my schedule was from 9 to 1 p.m. When my
Wow.
kids are away, I played.
Hmm.
Okay, joyometer, exactly.
Yes.
Yes, and pocket money for that reason. So I don't, so I have pocket money to sort of, kind of like, because I am also not the type of a person to say, hey, I need money.
Right.
So
Wow. That's wonderful. And it's so amazing to hear somebody who, when you knew it was time, that you not only spoke your truth, but you stood in it. It was like, it sounds like nobody was going to budge you
yeah.
once that decision was made.
So it's good to notice those things, because when I was pregnant with my first one, I started saying things that I would be like, who's saying that? I would propose things to my husband as far as how to do financial shifts in our lives. And
Hmm.
looking back, I was unknowingly planning for me not working,
Wow.
even though my husband didn't agree with me at the time because it was the most stupid suggestion. But looking back, it was like the smartest. you know, it's like, but I didn't even believe myself when those things were. So I didn't pursue it because I really didn't know what I want. So part of my work is, as I work with an individual, I nailed what is it that you truly want. Because if you don't know what you truly want, if you don't know you want to go to New York, are you going to get to New York?
No.
If you don't know where you are you going to get to New York?
No.
And if you don't know what path you need to take and what vehicle you need to get there, are you going to get to New York?
Mm-mm.
So for me is first, where do you want to go? Like, let's nail that so you can articulate your truth. You can say
Mhm.
that. And then where are you now? So you
Right.
can notice that. Because sometimes people are like, no, I don't want to see where I am. No, you gotta own it. Because wherever we are, it's up to all the decisions and all the indecisions that we
Mm,
have had.
yeah.
Because a lot of
Right.
us claim, I didn't ask to be here. Well, it was your indecision that got you here, and the indecision is a decision.
Yes, that is a very true statement. I've heard that many times. Wow. Well, I'm curious, since you've worked so hard to, develop this knowingness within you about what it is you want, where you want to be. Do you have a vision of where you expect to be 5 to 10 years from now?
I didn't work hard. Like, it didn't feel like I was working hard. I played hard. So,
Mhm.
so even if I have
Okay.
workshops, I call them play shops.
Okay. I like that.
And
Oh,
and it's more of getting to know yourself. So if we don't put energy in getting to know ourselves, what are we doing? Like, where is that energy? Where's much more valuable place to spend that energy? So
mhm,
is your question is like, where do I see myself in 5 years? Kind
mhm.
of like an interview question.
Yeah, kinda like that, yeah. I'm curious if you've got some
Well,
big vision of what the global she circle
yeah.
becomes.
So the vision I have for Global She Circle is continuous speaking of your truth. So the more you do that, you know what you are and who you are, and the easier you can get where you want to get. And then the next part of it is I am so interested in knowing what people are all about. And a whole lot of people, I've done maybe 124 interviews in the group as of now. And
Okay.
I would say majority of people are just so gifted. They're just so awesome. And my question is, why are you not blown up yet? Why are your business still not blown up?
Mm,
And my plan is to blow up their businesses,
mm,
to
like
create a space for them to kick ass, to
mm,
get things done with joy. So,
with joy. That should be your bumper sticker. Kick ass with joy.
yes, yes.
I
So
like that.
so it's something that you will say like, oh my God, but do I want to go there? And you will notice that you're the only one who is holding yourself back. You're the only one who is not articulating what you want. You're the only one who is sort of conflicting with your own energy.
Mhm.
And yeah, so if I want to say what's my plan is, I don't know, 5 years, because I think that's going to be sooner than 5 years for me to start um, facilitating and be the catalyst for people to blow up their businesses.
Nice. Nice. Well, and I know you're attracting a lot of wonderful businesses around you, so I'll hold that vision with you to blow them up so that they are doing lots of good in the world, because that's what we need is more people out here building their own little piece of the super puzzle that creates health, wealth, and peace for all.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Well, please let everybody know, how can they get in touch with you if they want to be part of your kick-ass journey?
Well, my Facebook page, I don't know if I will get to put any of these in the comment section of
Please
your
do.
post.
Please do.
If
Yes,
you could direct me to where that is at the end, will do that.
I
But
will.
basically, my Facebook group is Moj Razmi dash joy, the way my name is on the screen here. My group is called the Global She Circle, and the tagline of it is support, harmony, and empowerment. So if you if you're an entrepreneur, or if you have a passion that you want to, first of all, be able to articulate more and more of what it is that you truly do, and to come to a group that is, right now we are over 5,700 people, 5,700 people in the group, really heart-centered, individuals, soulful, and also really primed and really hungry to learn and to observe and to find ways that they can resonate with. So it's a beautiful place to show up and say what you do and who you are and how you serve, and uh, sort of get out of your way.
That's the key to it all, isn't it? We probably create more of our own hassle than anything else on the earth.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Wow. Well, I definitely invite you because this is actually going to be uploaded both to my Facebook group and to my YouTube channel. So I definitely welcome you to put whatever contact information you want, under both of those. You will receive the link once they are uploaded. And I'm just curious, do you have any final thoughts, final words of wisdom for people as we wrap this up today?
I think either two things: either carry your joyometer around with you and check in with that, or perhaps ask your own question: what is it that I really, 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 really want?
That's an important question, and so many people have
Yeah,
no clue.
yeah. There was seven. There was seven really in there. So it's like ask yourself 7 times. Like go deeper and deeper.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I
Yeah.
love it. Well, Moj, it has been a delight to have you with us today. And I always encourage people to take a look at these interviews, see if there's people that resonate with you that maybe you might even want to collaborate with, because we've got a lot of business owners in this group as well. And that's my joy, is to pull people together who can take their service offerings and integrate them into an even bigger, better, more spectacular solution to help people get more quickly from point A to point B. So, definitely thrilled and honored to have you with us. And we'll
Okay.
see all of you guys in our next interview. Until then, have an awesome, amazing day.
Thank you, everyone, for being here.